It says the Republicans are waiting until I do this rally tonight, and then they're going to go out and vote in mass. First of all, we're different on immigration and border security. I've got a very specific plan that would seal the borders, control our borders. We wouldn't have any amnesty. We would have a tough love, but a very fair approach that would deal with this issue and resolve it for everyone's benefit, not just people who are unhappy with the way it's gone, but frankly it would be in the best interest of people who do end up immigrating here, because they would come through the front door and they would do it through a legal pathway. And they would start in their own country, at the back of the line, they would get special privileges. But I think in the long term, everybody's more satisfied with that, and when people are here, they wouldn't live in the shadows where they had been. So the plan that I have is one that's been endorsed by significant immigration reform-minded people like Roy Beck, Numbers USA, and Jim Gilchrist, the founder of the Minuteman Project. It's a plan that I think is the most thorough that anybody has put together. It's 9 points on our Huckabee.com website. But I also think that there are some other significant differences. I support a human life amendment. Senator McCain does not. He does support human embryonic stem cell research. I most certainly do not. I support strongly the fair tax, which would eliminate the IRS and move us to a consumption tax. I think it would be the most of anything we could do to revitalize the American economy, keep manufacturing jobs in this country, and really give people at the bottom end of the economic spectrum a fighting chance to get ahead. He doesn't support the fair tax. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that people who tend to be Washington-oriented see things incrementally. Many of us who have been a chief executive know you have to have bold proposals and show real leadership. And that's what I'm prepared to do, because I'm the only person left in this race who's actually run a government from the position of being a chief executive. We also differ on the issue of same-sex marriage. He has indicated support for same-sex marriage in the past. I do not believe in that, and in fact we supported a constitutional amendment that would affirm marriage as traditional man-woman relationships.
Governor, why did Governor Romney endorse Senator McCain? Is it that surprise you?
Not necessarily. I mean, right now, most of the establishment Republicans are kind of circling the wagons around Senator McCain. I've never been their choice. The people who have supported me are the rank and file Republicans from around the country. And, you know, they'll continue to, because they're Republicans and they're conservatives out of principle, not politics. It's not about the politics for the people who support me. It's about things they truly believe in and hold to dearly. And so that's why, even if the national media says, but the numbers don't work out for you, that is not tantamount to scaring these people off, because they believe in some things very strongly. They believe in the sanctity of human life. They believe in traditional marriage. They believe, for example, in the fair tax. And, you know, they want to make sure that these are issues that stay on the table.
How do you like the chances in Texas, and how important is it for you to get a victory?
It's very important to get a victory here. I think if we do, it changes the discussion and the dynamics of the race. It will prove once again that I'm winning in the states that really are the Republican, conservative-based states. You know, people forget that I was the one who won in West Virginia and Alabama and Georgia and Tennessee and Arkansas and Kansas and Iowa. These are states Republicans have to have in order to win in November. And with all due respect, a lot of Senator McCain's delegates have come from California, New York, Delaware, Connecticut. Those are not the states in play. Those are blue states. And they're not going to be the states that will elect a Republican to the White House come November. So Texas is very, very important. I think one of the reasons that we are optimistic about Texas is that this is a state of very independent-minded people. Texas has a great history of not really caring what they think of New York or Washington, D.C., and they're going to think for themselves. And if Texans go out and vote their convictions, they'll vote for me, because this is a state where they're pro-life, they're pro-traditional marriage, they want immigration reform, they want it to strengthen. I think they know that it's counterproductive to a decent economy, to penalize productivity. So if you just look at the issues that typically will bring Republicans, particularly conservative ones, together, we should win Texas.
Governor, you talked about the flat tax.
Yes.
How would you get by a very formidable obstacle in the United States Senate and the United States House of Representatives to initiate those plans?
I think it would not go over just because I went in there and said, hey, how would you like to do the fair tax. But here's what would happen. The second most important job of the president, other than being the commander-in-chief, is to be the communicator-in-chief. The primary job I have would be to explain and to sell this to the American people, and then to ask them to contact their legislators and tell them that if they don't pass a tax system that treats them fairly, they'll fire those legislators and hire some who will. Many small business people in this country know that they're being rolled over every day, not by their competition, but by their own government. And they love a tax system that didn't require an army of accountants and lawyers just to do business. Many people in business spend more time taking care of the government paperwork than they do their customers. And we can change that. And we can't change that with a little sort of incremental tweaking in Washington. It needs a bold idea, something dramatic, and that's why the fair tax, which was designed, by the way, by some of the leading economists in the country, really does represent the best hope for us, keeping jobs in this country, bringing working capital back, and giving people at the bottom of the economy a chance to actually move ahead.
What's your plans in Colorado?
Yes, I've got some meetings out there with some evangelical leaders. I've got a speech there that night, so I'll be out there Friday afternoon and evening, and then I'll head to New York, be a guest on Saturday Night Live, and so be sure to watch that. Or let me find out what the skit is, and I'll tell you whether I want you to watch it. Not that I would keep you away.
Well, one of those meetings be with Mr. Johnson.
It would.
One more question.
Will this be paid?
I should hope so.
How do you feel about education in Texas?
What's that now?
I've been a college student. How do you feel about the education system in Texas, more specifically the community colleges?
When I was governor, one of the things I spent a lot of time helping to push was community colleges. Let me tell you why. Community colleges have been the most important single thing in education probably in the last generation, because people no longer are able to access the job market with a K-12 education. It's simply inadequate. Minimum K-14 is absolute minimum to really make it in the job market. A lot of people, particularly those who maybe didn't get to go to college when they first came out of high school, went directly to work, they know they have to upgrade their skills. Four-year university education is out of reach for them, both in accessibility and affordability. The community college has empowered people to have an education who never otherwise would have had it. There's another reason community colleges work so effectively, and we saw this in my state. One of the things we tried to push was a greater expansion of the accessibility and affordability. But here's the fact. Universities have their place, but a four-year university is probably teaching pretty much the same courses now that they taught 25 years ago. Look at a community college. If you need to develop a workforce for an industry that's coming into a community, you can sit down with a community college, and 3 months from now, you can be offering courses that are specifically tailored to the needs of that workforce. And it is a very vital part of creating an education network that empowers people to upgrade their job skills. I'm thrilled when I saw this campus. I think all the campuses here have 44,000 students just in the Collin County community college system. That's remarkable. 44,000 people. I would guess the average age, in Arkansas, the average age of a community college student is over 30. It's probably the same way in Texas. So what that means is this is a way in which people 10 and 12 years from high school, sometimes 20 and 30 years from high school, are able to upgrade their job skills.
Thanks, guys. You gotta get this room opened up. You gotta get this room opened up.
Let me take one more local question here. Local? Okay.
Yes. A lot in the Dallas area, a lot of the money put in a few weeks ago was going to candidates like Lonnie and Giuliani. How are you trying to support those?
We certainly like to have all the money we can get, but one of the things our campaign has proven is that money is not what keeps you on your feet. If money were the reason people wanted Mitt Romney to be already the nominee over Romney, if he wasn't, it'd be Rudy Giuliani, and if he wasn't, it'd be probably maybe Fred Thompson. The fact is, we've spent about a dime to the dollar of most of the other candidates, and we're still here. So it's important. And by the way, if you know anybody that would like to write us a big check, our address is P.O. Box 2008 Box. But the fact is, more important than the money is the message. People respond to that more than anything else, and I think that's evident in our
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
That's all questions.
That's all.
That's it.